Part 74. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 732. On the viewing platform. The moon tonight is especially round. The clouds are like fog, passing under the bright moon. The night of the full moon is the time when the yin energy is at its strongest. Wu Yu opened his mouth obliquely and said, as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. After today, the yin qi will decline rapidly. This is the best time for us to enter the ancient tomb. Hu Juer pinched his fingers gently and said, based on Tianxin Feng Shui, that big tomb should be deep in the dead wasteland. They were all taking the opportunity to infer. And Zhang Ling I also murmured. The key to getting the four-realm law is success or failure in one fell swoop. He was extremely determined. Their Guangdu sect is only a force in the three realms. If they succeed this time, they will be able to obtain the 9 laws of the fourth realm. By then, the sect will truly reach a new level. Only Ao Wushuan was sitting quietly watching the moon at the moment, not wanting to pay attention to anyone, because he had hardly had any rest during this period. He was too tired, really too tired. Tired to the point of sudden death. And at this moment, small village. Qing Chen and others took Wu Xiaoqan and moved forward. Dear benefactors, why are your Shinto realm so strong? On the way, Wu Xiaoqan couldn't help but ask questions. He seemed to be very curious and said, are you ancient practitioners? His question made Qing Chen and others confused. Practitioner of ancient methods? What does this mean? Wu Xiaoqan said. Practitioners of ancient methods are the cultivation traditions left over from the pre-White Mist era. It is said that the cultivation traditions and Shinto cultivation of that era require a very long process, which can even last tens of thousands of years. However, the cultivation of the Shinto is different from that of ordinary people. It is said that it will also be of great benefit to the road of chaos in the future. Qing Chen and others are a little strange, because, not only tens of thousands of years, but in the Yang world, even if you are a genius, if you want to cultivate to the realm of the God Emperor, it will take at least hundreds of thousands of years. Could it be said that the cultivation methods of the Chaos ancestral realm are different? Qing Chen asked. Wu Xiaoqan said. I heard from my father that in the post-White Mist era, the cultivation method is different from the pre-White Mist era. Shinto is the starting point, and it takes up to 100 years to practice. Some geniuses can complete it in a few years. Hearing this, everyone was a little stunned. This cultivation method is too strange. The time for practicing Shinto is so short. No wonder, I said, you are so young, yet you are so close to reaching the perfection of Shinto. It turns out that the cultivation method is different. Qing Chen looked at Wu Xiaoqan and spoke. They did feel the difference. Wu Xiaoqan's divine way was almost complete, but he had no sense of foundation. In their opinion, he was extremely weak. Such a weak Shinto, to be honest, this was the first time they had seen it. Like a weakened version of Shinto. The Shinto is the starting point? Then, what about the immortal way? What about the holy way? Dugu Yuking couldn't help but ask. Hearing this, Wu Xiaoqan was in a daze and said blankly. These words, I can only see some in particularly ancient books. Is there any way to practice them? Wu Xiaoqan also felt that, these benefactors actually knew the immortal way and the holy way, and they were probably ancient practitioners. He once heard his father say that ancient practitioners were very rare in the post-White Mist era. One is because the environment of heaven and earth has changed greatly in the post-White Fog era. In the chaotic spiritual energy, white energy and gray energy are mixed, and the ancient method is no longer suitable. Both, at the end of the former White Mist era, too many inheritances were turned into ashes and did not survive at all. Only some ancient hidden families had partially incomplete inheritance methods. Moreover, there are at most Shinto, immortal, and holy way? Don't know at all. I heard that in the post-White Mist era, the legal system of cultivation has changed greatly. Today's legal system was established by the founders of the post-White Mist era. Wu Xiaoqan muttered, he only knew a little bit about it. But now it seems that the small mountain village is probably really an ancient practice force. It seems that the path of cultivation we are taking is different from the ancestral world. Long Xuanhuan spoke. Don't worry about it. Master is a scholar of heaven and earth. His old man must have a purpose for asking us to follow the ancient method. Zhang Li was full of confidence. Everyone nodded. What about ancient methods? So what about today's law? They fear nothing. Moreover, in fact, even if they follow the ancient method, the time to practice is not long. It only takes less than 5 years to complete all the journeys from the immortal path, the holy path, and the Shinto path. You need to know that in the chaos ancestral realm, even if you practice the weakened version of the divine way, those who can complete it within a few years are considered to be extremely talented. By the way, how is the realm of chaos divided? Everyone is very concerned about this issue. Wu Xiaoqan introduced. Whether you are a practitioner of the ancient method or a practitioner of the post-White Mist era, you can enter the realm of chaos after completing the Shinto. But entering the realm of chaos is very demanding. You must master the 9 methods. 9 methods? Everyone is confused. Yes, because the realm of chaos needs to absorb chaos energy, but there is a lot of gray mist mixed in the chaos energy. After absorbing the gray mist, people will easily become crazy and twisted. But by practicing the 9 methods, you can eliminate the influence of the gray mist. Wu Xiaoqan said it naturally, because these things are just common sense in the Wuhuang realm and even the chaos ancestral realm. Perhaps the benefactors were too ignorant and practiced ancient methods, so they didn't know the modern methods, so he explained it carefully. In short, the 9 methods are 9 ways to overcome the influence of gray fog, but no matter which one of the 9 methods, the ones widely circulated in the world are only the first 3 realms. Only if you have practiced the 9 laws of the corresponding realm, can you dare to enter the corresponding realm of chaos, otherwise you will go crazy. And the realm of chaos is divided into the realm of spiritual energy, spiritual spring, and spiritual rainbow. These are the first 3 realms of chaos, and the realm behind, I don't know. Listening to his explanation, Qing Chen and others looked a little solemn. The post-White Mist era, that weird old man once said that unlike the pre-White Mist era, gray mist can also practice. Long Xuanhuan murmured and said. The 9 methods are the methods to suppress the origin of the gray mist. Wu Date also nodded and said. It seems that the guy whose eggs were bitten off by the dead dog must have practiced the 9 arts. Otherwise, he would have been lost and crazy if he was contaminated by the gray mist. Through Wu Xiaoqan's explanation, they had a general understanding of the Wuhuang world. The 9 methods are said to be the 9 methods created by the founder of the post-White Mist era, providing a new path of cultivation for all living beings in the world. The 9 methods are the key and foundation for cultivating the realm of chaos in the post-White Fog era, which can restrain the negative effects of gray fog. For example, a cultivator has perfected the realm of chaotic spiritual energy, but if he has not mastered the 9 methods of the second realm, he will never dare to break through. Otherwise, he will be backlashed by the gray mist, twisted to death by madness. The power levels in the Wuhuang world are also divided according to the number of masters of the 9 arts. Those who master the 9 methods of the first 3 realms of chaos are called the forces of the 3 realms. There are the most forces at this level, because the methods of the 3 realms are widely spread in the world. Starting from the 4-realm law, it is extremely rare. The 4-realm forces are top-notch, and the 5-realm forces who master the 5-realm law are all dominating one side, and they are all famous. While talking, they had already arrived in front of Li Fan's courtyard. Master, we are back. Walk into the small courtyard. As soon as Wu Xiaoqan settled down, his expression was startled. He subconsciously looked at the chickens in the courtyard. Boom! There was a roar in his mind, and at this moment, he felt as if he was facing a chaotic beast. Is this a chicken? No. This is definitely a chaos beast, and its grade is not low. Could it be a three-realm chaos beast? His father is a strong man in the three realms of chaos, the Linghong realm, and he raises a chaos beast, the Black Eagle. That Black Eagle is a second-level chaos beast. Now he feels that any chicken is stronger than his father's Black Hawk. Then, he looked towards the pond again. Peach. Wu Xiaoqan's face was stiff. In this small courtyard, it seemed that any tree or creature was stronger than his father. Could this small mountain village be a Four Realms force? Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 733. Wu Xiaoqan's face was extremely shocked. They are the lineage of gravekeepers and also control the Four Realms. However, the Four Realms law is a top secret and is kept by the master of Nanhai. Even his father, after completing the three realms, had to go to the main sect to practice if he wanted to break through the Four Realms. This small mountain village is actually a fourth realm level force. So extraordinary. At this moment, Li Fan also turned around, looked at everyone, and said with a smile. He's back. Who is this little brother? He looked at Wu Xiaoqan. Wu Xiaoqan looked at Li Fan and was even more shocked. This is the master of the benefactors? The owner of this place? He suddenly became nervous. This was at least a strong person from the Four Realms. Only those who are strong in the Four Realms can be so watertight that they can't feel the other party's fluctuations at all. Junior Wu Xiaoqan, I have met my senior. Wu Xiaoqan immediately saluted. When Li Fan saw this, he said. No need to be polite, please get up quickly. Wu Xiaoqan stood up involuntarily, confirming his suspicion more and more. A real master, I'm afraid even if my father comes, he won't be able to compare with the senior. Master, we met him at the entrance of the village. He had clues about rare plants. Qing Chen opened his mouth and said. Hearing this, Li Fan couldn't help but feel happy. This encountered us again? Now, he is only 2 rare plants away from the system's mission. We are getting closer and closer to breaking through the Qi refining period. The next level is foundation building, right? Li Fan couldn't help but look forward to it. Although he was still at the bottom in the world of immortality in the foundation building stage, it would be better than the Qi refining stage. Make strides towards the realm of golden elixir. Very good. Li Fan smiled and said. Since we're in the village, it's the Mid-Autumn Festival, let's eat mooncakes together. As he spoke, he looked towards the kitchen and said. Gong ya, are the mooncakes almost ready? Just now, he took a group of female disciples to make mooncakes and then bake them over a fire. Now, they should be almost cooked. In the kitchen, Gong Ya, Yun 11, Nanfeng, etc. came out carrying piles of mooncakes. Every mooncake exudes the aroma of baking. Mooncake. I've never had it before, it must be delicious. Master's delicious food. Long Xuanhuan and others were all coveting it. Come on, eat. When Li Fan spoke, everyone immediately sat around. Wu Xiaoqan was also frightened and sat down carefully. The aroma of the freshly baked mooncakes was lingering. Feeling this aroma, Wu Xiaoqan felt so comfortable all over, as if he was about to ascend to immortality. No. This is this pure white mist and chaotic energy. Wu Xiaoqan's expression changed. This smell reminded him that his father had purified part of the chaos energy. And the scent of chaos contained in this mooncake is 100 times stronger than what his father had originally purified. Could it be that this village has the origin of the original white mist? He was shocked and remembered many legends. In the post-white fog era, the origin of chaos between heaven and earth is no longer pure, and the white fog is mixed with gray fog. However, it is said that the uncontaminated origin of the white mist is still preserved in all ancient forbidden places. If there is a pure source of white mist, then you can get through the realm of chaos without using the 9 methods of the post-white mist era and using ancient methods to practice. The small mountain village, is it actually an ancient power with pure white mist origin? This is amazing. If word spreads, the entire far north will probably be shocked. Is it Xuanhuan? Come and try the mooncakes. Although the homemade ones are a bit rough, they should taste good. At this moment, Li Fan spoke, picked up a mooncake and handed it to Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan trembled. This mooncake contains the pure source of white mist. Actually, to yourself? But, do you dare to refuse the offer from the boss? Never dare. He could only take it with both hands and said, thank you, senior. However, when he took the mooncake, he hesitated. He is not ready to enter the realm of chaos yet. Once the chaotic white mist contained in this mooncake enters the body, it means that he begins to impact the first realm of chaos, the spiritual energy realm. At that time, it is very likely to cause a disaster. But, just when he hesitated, everyone started eating. Wow, the ham mooncakes are so delicious and fragrant. Youngzi ate a ham mooncake and couldn't put it down immediately. The ham one is really good, sister, the lotus paste one is also okay, you can try it. Zi Ling also tasted it happily. Egg yolk is the most delicious. Nanfan has a special liking for egg yolk mooncakes. The 5 kernels are so satisfying, full of flavor and delicious. Wu Dade was nibbling on the mooncake, breaking off half of it and throwing it to the big black dog at his feet. The big black dog immediately ate it too. At this moment, the moon is hanging high in the night, and the courtyard is sprinkled with broken silver. The small courtyard is bright, quiet, and beautiful. Everyone is eating mooncakes together, which is a special kind of liveliness. Li Fan made a lot of stuffing, and everyone ate happily. Li Fan cut the mooncake into small pieces and fed it to the kitten in his arms. This greedy little cat seemed to like egg yolk and ham the most. When Xuanhuan saw this, he was shocked. The origin of the white mist contained in this mooncake is extremely rare. If placed in the outside world, a single cake may cause a war between the 4 and 5 realms. However, when these people eat them now, they feel no different from eating ordinary sesame cakes. Moreover, with so much chaotic energy entering the body, the benefactors did not cause thunder disaster. He had a complicated mind, gritted his teeth, no matter what, just eat it. He also took a bite. After taking a bite of the mooncake, terrifying power suddenly erupted from his body. He felt that at this moment, he had directly reached the perfection of Shinto. Originally, he was only in the realm of a great master of Shinto, and it would still be several years before he could reach perfection in Shinto. Now, directly to. He trembled. If he took a few more bites, he wouldn't directly enter the first realm of chaos, right? However, I have not mastered the 9 methods. However, the white mist in this mooncake seems to be very pure and not gray. He immediately ignored it and continued eating. After eating a whole mooncake, the divine aura in his body suddenly changed, and the chaotic energy contained in the mooncake reached all his limbs and bones. At this moment, Xuanhuan officially became a cultivator in the first realm of chaos. I succeeded. Xuanhuan was shocked, so simple? A mooncake, reaching the realm of chaos. It's incredible. He looked hurriedly at the others. However, he found that the auras of Qing Chen, Long Zixuan, and others were growing very slowly. After eating cakes for several months, their realm slowly passed the realm of the Venerable. Became the God Emperor. This mooncake is so powerful. Xuanhuan couldn't help but be shocked. Master's handmade mooncakes. Zhongli murmured, I finally know why Master said that mooncakes symbolize perfection. It makes our realm perfect. It seems that next, we can attack the realm of chaos. Everyone was excited. By the way, Gong Ya, give some to the second uncle and Uncle Zhang later so they can try it too. Li Fan spoke. Every mid-autumn festival, he would make mooncakes and share them with the villagers. Yes, Master. Gong Ya spoke. When I was young, I didn't recognize the moon, and it looked like a white jade plate. I also doubt that the Yaotai mirror is flying in the blue clouds. While Xining was eating mooncakes, she recited a poem. She looked at Li Fan curiously and said, Brother, do you know any other poems about the moon? She is like a studious child. Li Fan smiled and said, Of course. The Mid-Autumn Festival is a day for reunion, but many people are still unable to reunite due to reality. So naturally there are corresponding poems. As he spoke, he slowly opened his mouth and chanted. When will the bright moon come? Ask the sky for wine. I don't know what year it is today in the palace in the sky. I want to ride the wind back home, but I'm afraid it's too cold in the high places. Dancing clear shadow, like in the world. Turn to the zoo pavilion, look down at the Kihu, and the light will make you sleepless. There shouldn't be any hatred, so what's the point of saying goodbye? People have joys and sorrows, separations and reunions, and the moon waxes and wanes. This is a difficult thing in ancient times. Nung, moon, and new moon. After reading this poem, he felt quite emotional. But Xuanhuan and others were all stunned. People have joys and sorrows, and the moon waxes and wanes, what kind of state is this? How many great tragedies in life has Master experienced before he can have such a realization? Admiration and complex expressions flashed across Nanfan's beautiful eyes. I hope we live forever, and we can share the beauty of the moon thousands of miles apart, such timeless words. Do you ever have any regrets, big brother? Xuanhuan's big eyes seemed to be filled with curiosity. I want to ride the wind back home, but I'm afraid that it's so cold in the beautiful buildings and jade sky at high places. Master is so lonely. Ziling spoke softly, and she felt a deep sadness and helplessness, as if behind the Master's carefreeness, there was always a heart-wrenching past. Master, we will always be with you. She couldn't help but speak. Li Fan smiled and said. Good. Yun 11 stood up and said. Dance to clear up the shadow, then, let me dance for you, big devil. The full moon hangs high, and the clouds and streams dance gracefully. At this moment, it seemed as if the moonlight was eclipsed by it. Quietly, in the small courtyard, the unicorn tree grew taller, and the sacred blood grass became more and more lush. In a corner, a fresh green shoot of the two-leaf grass that Li Fan had just planted quietly poked out of the ground. Li Fan looked at Yun 11's dance and couldn't help but smile slightly, and he was quite intoxicated in his heart. Late at night. Everyone has taken a break. It turns out, this is the post-white mist era. The voice of the old hen sounded slowly and said. As expected of her, she has seen hundreds of millions of years longer than us, and has already guessed the ending of the white mist world. Entering this world, they can know the situation of this world with just a thought. The branches of the peach tree drooped lightly and he said. The grey mist is transformed from the white mist. The white mist cannot last forever and will eventually become grey mist. We don't understand it until today, but eons ago, after the Master, she had already seen it, and she had found a way. Without her, there would be no post-white mist era. The white mist ancestral world of the past has now become a grey mist world. Dosha's words were full of emotion. But, the more it is like this, the more powerless it is, isn't it? As stunning as she was, she created the 9 arts, continued the white mist era, and also fell. There was a deep sense of powerlessness in the old hen's words. Peachtree said word by word. I have a hunch. She must have laid a shocking plan in this world. She is waiting for the master to return. At the same time, in the pond, a terrifying shadow of a real dragon jumped out, as if it was going to shake the heavens, and said, In this life, fight happily. The old hen glanced over there and said coldly, Are you making any noise? There isn't much meat left in the master's cold box. Hearing this, the real dragon was startled for a moment, then returned to the water in despair, motionless. The next day. To Lingzhou, a small border town. The sun is just right. Today is the best time for us to set off to the dead man's wasteland. All the major tomb robber families have gathered their manpower and are ready to go. Good night. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 734. Arrive at Lingzhou, in front of the city gate of a small border town. Members of all the major tomb robber families have already arrived. The Hu family, the Wu family, and the Xuanhuan sect are all elites. Zhang Lingai from the Guangdu sect also came with a dozen people. Zhang Lingai, I said, this time, there is nothing to do with your Guangdu section. Wu Yuxi spoke coldly. Hu Juer also said. Seeing that your Guangdu sect ancestor, Chen Ziazi, has been taught by my Hu family ancestor, I would like to advise you that if you have self-awareness, go back to the Guangdu sect as soon as possible, otherwise, you will die. Yang Partridge, who was from the Xuanhuan lineage, was also sneering beside him. The Hu family, Wu family, and Xuanhuan all have ancestral craftsmanship, and they are masters in the tomb robbing industry. The Guangdu sect was founded by Chen Ziazi, who became a monk halfway. Each family only knew a little bit about the inversion skills, but none of them were proficient in it. Therefore, they have been despised by many families. Moreover, there is a huge opportunity in entering the ancient tomb this time. It is naturally good to reduce one competitor. I don't need you to comment on whether I, the Guangdu sect, will go or not, right? Zhang Ling frowned. Hu Juer and others all had cold expressions on their faces. Master Xiancheng of Xuanyi sect has arrived. At this moment, a loud shout suddenly came. Everyone immediately turned their heads and looked in the direction of the source of the sound. As far as everyone could see, they saw a group of people approaching, led by one person, wearing a silver robe and a tall figure, riding a second-level black-scaled horse with a powerful aura. Behind him were a dozen riders, all riding black-scaled horses. The people from Xianyizong are here. As expected of Xianyizong, he actually used a chaotic spiritual beast as his mount. It is said that the reason why the great tomb robbing sect was able to gather together this time is because of the leadership of Xianyizong. Everyone was talking a lot, and their faces were extremely solemn. Xuanhuan is a four-realm sect with a background in the far north. In fact, this tomb robbing trip was led by Xuanhuan, and all the major families followed them. Hu Juer of the Hu family, please see Mr. Xiancheng. Wu Yuxi of the Wu family, please see Mr. Xiancheng. Xuanhuan Yang Partridge, meet the young master. Hu Juer and others spoke respectfully. Zhang Lingai also bowed at this moment and said, Guangdu sect Zhang Lingai, pay your respects to the young master. Hearing this, Xiancheng suddenly raised his eyebrows, looked at Zhang Lingai, and said, Guangdu sect. Did I let you come? There was a sense of condescension and superiority in his words, with a hint of questioning. Zhang Lingai hurriedly explained and said, We did come here after receiving news from your section. Xiancheng scolded him and said, Nonsense. With a three-legged cat sect like you, Are you qualified to come? I will never inform you. Get out. He is very direct. As the sex quasi-heir, he finally got a chance to perform this time. As long as he successfully obtains the items in the tomb, he can become the young sect leader. Therefore, he looked down upon the Guangdu sect, which had always been relatively weak in the tomb robbing world. Haha, it turns out that the Guangdu sect came uninvited. Ridiculous. Fortunately, Mr. Xiancheng came here in person, otherwise wouldn't this guy have succeeded? Hu Juer and others were all gloating about the misfortune. Zhang Lingai's face was extremely ugly, but he still faced his scalp and said, "Our Guangdu sect really came here with your permission." A flash of anger flashed across Xuanhuan's eyes, and he said, "Do you think what I'm talking about is nonsense?" As he spoke, he suddenly raised his hand, and the aura of the chaotic spiritual spring realm was released. Zhang Ling was horrified. However, at this moment, a clear and beautiful voice came. "Stop." Xiancheng also stopped his hands and turned his head to look. A girl in a green shirt had already arrived on a black-scaled horse and passed the dozen or so people brought by Xiancheng. "Xianqing Ai, what are you doing here?" Xuanquan's face darkened. This woman is another genius of Xian Yizong, Xianqing Ai. Also one of his biggest competitors. Xianqing Ai said lightly. "If you can come, of course I can too. This time I open the tomb deep in the dead wasteland, and I want to participate. Guangdu sect was invited by me." Hearing this, Xuanquan's eyes became even more gloomy. The other party, does he want to compete with himself for the position of young sect leader? "I advise you to leave," Xiancheng said. "The Hu family, the Wu family, and Fakao Tianguan all obey my orders. You can't interfere here." Xianqing Ai said calmly. "Really? I'm just afraid that people like you will go to the wasteland of the dead and never come back." She glanced at Hu Juer and others lightly. Xiancheng couldn't help laughing angrily and said, "Joke. The Hu family, Wu family, and Fakao Tianguan are the strongest tomb robber sects in the far north. They can't come back. How can this half-assed Guangdu sect you found do it?" Xianqing Ai said. "Whether it works or not, you won't know until you try it." With that said, she no longer cared about Xiancheng, but looked at Zhang Ling'ai and said, "Mr. Zhang, have you found the evil star?" Zhang Ling stepped forward, saluted respectfully, pointed to Ao Wushuan beside him, and said, "Girl in green, this person's name is Ao Wushuan, he is the evil star we found." Xianqing Ai said, "Is this person evil enough?" Zhang Ling said, "I, Luo Kai of the Guangdu sect, have always been a lucky star, but when I met him, I almost lost my life, and the evil suppressing jade on my body was shattered. The sect leader has already seen it and thinks he should be evil enough." At this moment, Wu Yuxi next to him shook his head and said, "Girl in Xingyi, don't let Zhang Ling'ai fool you. He knows nothing about the real evil star." Zhang Ling said coldly. "Wu Yuxi, what do you mean? What do you mean? Let me show you what the real evil star is." Wu Yu waved his hand sideways. From behind, a middle-aged man with a pockmarked face walked up. This middle-aged man's body is covered with various pendants, including charms, jade articles, gold articles, etc., which are all used to ward off evil spirits. This person is Xie Xing, Ximen Xie, who was recruited by my Wu family. Wu Yu smiled sideways and said, "The day this person was born, his whole family died. After being adopted, the adoptive parents suddenly suffered from a serious illness that was incurable. I once became a disciple of a certain section in the same year, the Sex Mountain collapsed and the entire army was wiped out. He survived alone. Even the people from my Wu family who went to find him all died of bad diseases. They had to use all the methods in the family to temporarily suppress his evil spirit. How useful is your Ao Wushuan? In front of Ximen Xie, what does he mean? Seeing this scene, Xiancheng also laughed with satisfaction and said, "Good." Seeing Xuanhuan's compliment, Hu Juer also hurriedly called over a charming woman. That voluptuous woman had a devilish figure, with bulging front and back, and many men around her had their blood pumping. Hu Juer introduced rather flatteringly. "Young Master Xiancheng, she is the evil star prepared by our Hu family, and her name is Shuijing." Xiancheng looked at Shuijing and felt his heart heat up. This girl is truly a beauty. If she can serve her. He couldn't help but ask, how could this woman have evil thoughts? Hu Juer said, "Master Qi, this woman has slept with more than 30,000 men. All the men she has favored, have been infected with various kinds of bad luck and died. Moreover, within the 3 tribes, they will be disturbed by bad luck, and countless people have died." Hearing these words, Xiancheng suddenly became excited, and his high-spirited desire suddenly disappeared. "This kind of woman, forget it, I can't afford it." He looked at Yang Partridge and said, "What about you?" At this moment, Yang Partridge took out a bloody human head. There were several large strings of mugwort, garlic, etc. hanging on the man's head, and a charm was attached to his forehead. "Master Qi, this is the head of the famous disaster star Zhao Dufu. He is thousands of miles around, and anyone who comes close to him will encounter all kinds of bad luck. We have the Qiu Tianguan lineage, but we can't suppress this man, so we have to discuss it with him and behead him for use." Xiancheng couldn't help but shudder. Even he had heard of Zhao Dufu, the name of this disaster star. Wherever he passed, cities were destroyed and mountains collapsed. It can be called the #1 disaster star in the north. At this moment, Zhao Dufu's head opened his mouth and said, "We have agreed that I will help you crack the tomb, sew my head back, and give me the 3 realms Dharma." If Zhao Dufu hadn't done this voluntarily, it would have been difficult to get close to him in Fakaiu Tianguanmen. Yang Partridge said, "Don't worry." Seeing this, everyone around them was in a daze. "Damn, that's okay. This Zhao Dufu is too ruthless, and he can even negotiate such matters." Even Xie Shuijing and Ximen Xie have fear in their eyes. One is more cruel than the other. 3 evil stars, not even a blade of grass can grow. Everyone is talking about it. Not bad. Evil enough. Xuanhuan's eyes were filled with pride. He looked at Xianqing Ai and others and said, "Now, do you still have the courage to participate in this competition? Does this so-called Ao Wushuan deserve to be called Xie? He's already winning." And seeing the 3 evil stars, even Zhongling Ai couldn't help but fall silent at this moment. Compared with these evil stars, what is Ao Wushuan? He was desperate and discouraged. "Girl in green, we." He spoke bitterly. However, Xianqing Ai still remained calm and said, "It doesn't matter, I believe in Senior Chen's vision. Since Senior Chen said that Ao Wushuan is an evil star, I believe that Ao Wushuan has his own merits." The Senior Chen she was talking about was naturally Chen Ziazi, the leader of the Guangdu sect. The reason why she invited the Guangdu sect to come was not only to confront Xiancheng, but one of the reasons was that she owed blind Chen a favor in the early years. Now, giving the Guangdu sect such an opportunity could be regarded as repaying the favor. Saying that, Xianqing Ai looked at Ao Wushuan and said, "Ao Wushuan? Are you confident that you are more evil than them?" Ao Wushuan looked worried and nervous at this moment. "Damn, what kind of year is this? Actually forcing yourself to do evil?" In fact, he also has a fire in his heart. Xiancheng and the 3 evil stars, bullied people too much. He really wanted to send these people away. However, he doesn't know yet. Whether I am evil or not doesn't really depend on me." He was filled with helplessness and said, "This place is so far away from the small mountain village, I'm afraid Lao Ao won't be able to get evil. There are still chapters to be written. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 735. The previous chapter was closed because of porn. If you didn't see the text, please read it again. It has been released. Small village. Everyone got up and had breakfast. Master, my 2-leaf clover has sprouted. When Subakian took Li Fan's face wash water to water the 2-leaf grass, she was pleasantly surprised to find that a touch of green had appeared in the soil. Germination. This means that the 2-leaf clover was saved. A new life was achieved. Subakian was extremely excited. She looked at the light green with mixed feelings in her heart. The little white fox was also spinning around the buds with joy. After an eternity of separation, now, they are finally on their way to a new life. Li Fan also nodded. Fortunately, he was saved. Otherwise, how could the system complete its mission? How to break through the chi refining stage and move towards the golden elixir? Master. At this moment, Qing Chen said. Disciple wants to go out. Wu Xiaoqan has promised to lead the way and take me to find rare plants. Hearing this, Li Fan nodded. Since he found the trace, of course he had to find it quickly. Where is that rare plant? Li Fan asked Wu Xiaoqan. Wu Xiaoqan said. Senior Qi, if this junior guessed correctly, it should be in an ancient tomb. He once heard his father say that in the large tomb guarded by their tomb keepers, there may be some kind of shocking spiritual plant left over from the pre-white mist era. What the benefactors are looking for is probably this one. Li Fan was a little surprised. Rare plants grow in ancient tombs. What kind of rare plant is this? Could it be something like corpse-scented konjac? No way, no way. In his previous life, Li Fan also read some tomb-robbing novels. He knew that plants growing in ancient tombs were probably not good plants. For example, the corpse-scented konjac came from a certain tomb-robbing novel. It was very evil and could be poisoned if you were not careful. Trick. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but think about it and said. Jujhan, you and Qing Chen go there. Lin Jujhan is a heavenly master after all. He can come in handy when encountering unclean people in the ancient tomb. By the way, Dade, you can go too and take Dehe with you. Li Fan added. After all, pure black dog blood really does have some exorcism effect. As you command. Lin Jujhan and Wu Dade both stood up and spoke. Immediately, Qing Chen, Lin Jujhan, Wu Dade, and Big Black Dog left the courtyard together with Wu Xiaoqan. Out of the small mountain village. Dear benefactors, our clan has made an oath to protect the tomb. The plant you are looking for is probably the one in the tomb. Wu Xiaoqan said everything he knew, saying. However, now there is a traitor in our lineage. He colludes with outsiders and is preparing to enter the tomb. We have to get ahead of them and reach the tomb gate. There are 2 ways to the tomb gate, let's take the other one. He was a little anxious. Qing Chen is the one who broke the oath. According to the agreement between his ancestors, everything in the tomb will belong to the person who broke the oath from the day he broke the oath. In Wu Xiaoqan's view, Qing Chen is now the owner of the tomb. If Wu Qi is allowed to lead outsiders into it and plunder it, then they, the tomb keepers, will become sinners. Don't worry, this tomb is probably related to her at the end of 10,000 paths. But the big black dog spoke, his face a little solemn, and said. How many grasshoppers want to covet the things she left behind? In the wilderness of the dead, the yin energy is really strong. At this moment, a group of men and horses had penetrated deep into the desert of the dead from the outside. In the mountains and fields, ever-changing mist rises and white dust mixes, and sometimes, you can even hear ghosts crying. Even, in front of their eyes, there were grey creatures flashing inexplicably from time to time, which was very shocking. Is this a grey ghost? Another gray thing dodged around, arousing everyone's surprise. Not the gray ghost. Hujuer spoke solemnly and said, "In the desert of the dead, the white mist and gray mist are somewhat out of balance, and the gray mist is thicker, causing some creatures to turn gray. Actually, the number of real gray ghosts in the post-white mist era can only be counted on one hand, and they are all just legends. In the eyes of the world, gray ghosts are often just gray ghosts formed after death. He has been robbing tombs for many years and knows the legends of the world very well. Haha, you are worthy of being Mr. Jewer of the Hu family, awesome." At this moment, in the forest ahead, a group of people wearing linen clothes suddenly appeared. The leader of them had long unkempt hair, a pair of eyes as bright as an eagle, and his linen clothes were in tatters and patched. At this moment, he came forward and said, "Wu Qi, the guardian of the tomb, pays homage to young master Xiancheng of the Xuanyi sect." Wu Qi saluted towards Xiancheng. Xiancheng couldn't help but smile and said, "Very good. Lead the way to the tomb gate." Wu Qi nodded and said, "Follow me." On horseback, Xiancheng couldn't help but speak, saying, "Senior Sister King Ai, you didn't expect it, did you? This is my hidden stake." He looked very proud and said, "There are tomb keepers inside, and there are Dodo family outside. I can capture the big tomb this time. If you insist on following, I don't mind letting you witness my success, ha ha, ha ha ha." But Xian King Ai's eyes were very calm. She looked at Wu Qi's back and murmured, "How could the Tomb Keeper clan be easily bribed by Xian Yizong? Do they accept the conditions offered by Xian Yizong? Are we taking advantage of the Tomb Keeper, or is this person taking advantage of us?" She was thoughtful and thinking. In front of them, Wu Qi was leading the way, with a smile on his lips. "Master Wu." As I was walking, a man in linen ran out of the mist and whispered, "The two people sent to hunt down Wu Xiaokan, are both dead. No trace of them." Hearing this, Wu Qi frowned slightly. "If we don't eradicate the root cause, I'm afraid there will be endless troubles." Someone next to me spoke. "That's it, it's not important anymore." Wu Qi shook his head and said, "As long as you open this tomb and let the things inside come out, everything else is just a cloud." He didn't even take the opportunity in the tomb seriously. Open the tomb, put out the things inside, and pass the test. I will officially become a member of that organization. Wu Qi's heart was extremely hot. The organization allowed him to do whatever it took. Everyone followed Wu Qi, and the further they went, the more dangerous the environment became. The miasma formed by excessive gray fog, if you accidentally enter it, you may become crazy. Among the thick gray leaves on the ground, there is a swamp hidden in it. If you fall into it, you will definitely die. If Wu Qi hadn't led the way, I'm afraid everyone would be dead by now. This big tomb is hidden in the Jedi, so it must be a big shot. Hujuer, on the other hand, has eager eyes. Those who can withstand such dangerous terrain will definitely be earth-shattering and invincible during their lifetime. There will definitely be a great opportunity. Wu Yuxi also spoke. Not long after, a huge black lake suddenly appeared in front. The black lake lies quietly in the desert, like a black gem. The lake has a very gray atmosphere and is so misty that it's hard to see clearly. The big tomb is in the middle of the lake. The black lake in Wu Qi opened his mouth and said, "There is already endless evil in this lake. Although we have prepared a boat, we dare not rush through it. The next step is up to you." He looked at Hujuer and others. On the shore of the lake, there are 7 or 8 gray wooden boats parked. "Sir, let's divide us into 6 ships." Wu Yu tilted his head towards Xiancheng and suggested, "The 3 evil stars will each go over in a boat to suck out the evil energy in the lake. We will follow in 3 boats to ensure that we are safe." Xiancheng nodded and said, "Let's get started." Immediately, The three evil stars boarded the boat first. The boat moved and headed towards the center of the lake. In the waters that the three evil stars passed through, there seemed to be vague black air gathering towards them. The waters behind their ship actually seemed a little clearer. Haha, evil, delicious food. Zhao Dufu only had one head left, but he was swallowing the black evil energy. What a rare delicious food. Shui Jing took off her clothes, her devilish figure looming in the black evil aura. She seemed to be bathing, stroking herself, and making a sound that would be banned. Ximenxia also screamed and devoured it. The three of them are born evil stars. The strange thing is that not only are their own fates very evil, but they can also cultivate by absorbing the evil energy from heaven and earth. At this moment, the evil energy that is like poison to ordinary people is actually a great tonic for them. The evil spirits in the water are all attracted by the three evil stars. It really works. Zhao Dufu attracts evil spirits the most, Shui Jing comes second, Ximenxia is a little weaker, but it's enough. Everyone was pleasantly surprised. Immediately, the Hu family, Xuanhuan and Wu family all got on the boat. "Sir, please come quickly." Hu Juer waited and spoke enthusiastically towards Xiancheng. Xiancheng smiled proudly, turned to look at Xianqing, and said, "Don't you believe in this so-called Ao Wushuan? I really want to see if he can let you cross this lake of evil, haha." With a sneer, he took Wu Qi and boarded the Wu family's boat. The three boats behind followed closely behind the boat where Zhao Dufu and others were. Zhang Ling at this moment, looked at Ao Wushuan helplessly and said, Can you do it?" He now doesn't trust Ao Wushuan. When Ao Wushuan heard this, he was angry. "Damn it, there are mountains of swords and seas of fire, and evil gates are like small mountain villages. Isn't it true that I am invincible? Follow me and I'll take you to your grave." "I don't believe it. Without the small mountain village, Lao Ao, would still be evil." He decided to fight. And at this moment, the other side. On the shore, Wu Dade and others have also arrived. "This black lake is full of evil spirits, it's impossible to cross it." Wu Xiaoqan opened his mouth and said, "The grave is in the middle of the lake." Qing Chen and others looked at it and frowned. "I do have the Celestial Master's method, which can drive away evil spirits, but I'm afraid it will be very slow, there are too many evil spirits in the water." Lin Zhuzhan spoke, thought for a moment, and then looked at the big black dog. The big black dog suddenly became furry and said, "Wow, what do you want to do? I'm warning you, don't act recklessly." Lin Zhuzhan said, "Don't worry, I don't need your blood." When the big black dog heard this, he was relieved. "By the way, Dehei, are you still a virgin?" Lin Zhuzhan had already asked another question. Hearing this, the big black dog suddenly felt embarrassed, as if it had been stabbed in the foot, and roared angrily. "Woof woof woof, this emperor is a scumbag, and there are thousands of girls in the Wind Demon, please don't insult me. It seems to remember to prove itself." Lin Zhuzhan hurriedly comforted him and said, Okay, I admit that you are a scumbag, no, a scumbag. Otherwise, Dehei, why don't you try a great magical power?" The previous chapter was closed because of porn. If you didn't see the text, please read it again, it has been released. Good night. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 736. The Black Lake water is filled with evil spirits. But after hearing what Lin Zhuzhan said, Qing Chen and Wu Dade were both startled. "Junior brother Lin, you can't let this damn dog mess around. The water is dirty, and there's no way to get past it." Wu Dade spoke quickly. "Everyone knows what the so-called great supernatural power that reaches the heaven and the earth means. By then, the entire lake will be polluted, and it will even be more intolerable than the evil. However, when the big black dog heard that there was no need to bleed, he immediately felt at ease and relaxed. Wow, you pet, shut up. It stepped forward directly, looking disdainfully at the black lake in front of it, its eyes full of arrogance, and said, "Even though there are tens of thousands of people, I will go. Even if the evil in this small lake is overwhelming, what can I do to this emperor? I think back then, I stepped on the stars, broke through the void, and was invincible. With a raised hand, this emperor will break down all obstacles and suppress all enemies." Its words moved the sky, and its body seemed to swell up, like a small mountain, and its energy was so powerful that it was astonishing. What a strong energy! This senior dog's realm should not exceed the third realm, but why do I feel like I am facing a huge beast? Wu Xiaoqin's face was shocked. He even felt like he wanted to worship him. It was too strong and shocking. This was the power of the monstrous ancient beast. This was the power that would dominate the ages. Just as he fell to the ground, the big black dog slowly turned around, facing away from the black lake. This senior dog is so brave. He actually turns his back to evil lake. He is domineering and invincible. This is the true demeanor of a strong man. Wu Xiaoqin was even more impressed. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the big black dog reared up. Then, wow! Wu Xiaoqin was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is this the so-called great supernatural power that reaches the heaven and the earth? This is obviously a bully, ah! But then he was even more shocked. He saw the big black dog flying down 3,000 feet and rushing into the black lake. The black evil energy in the black lake suddenly centered on the impact point of the dog urine and continued to flow towards the surroundings. Spread. Soon, all the black air in the lake in front of him dissipated and headed towards other parts of the lake. The lake water showed a kind of clarity with a stinking smell. Wu Xiaoqin was stunned when he saw this scene. This actually works? Dog peeing to break evil spirits? This is too outrageous. They are the tomb guardians and are very familiar with this place. Since ancient times, there have been many brave and talented people who came here in an attempt to rob the tomb, but in the end they were unable to get close and they all died. This place is considered a Jedi? And this senior dog just soaked in urine, and the problem was solved. Awesome, awesome. The big black dog put down its hind legs at this moment and looked up, only to see Wu Xiaoqin staring straight at it. What are you looking at? Haven't you seen the great supernatural power that reaches the sky and the earth? The big black dog is very proud. At this moment, Wu Dade and Lin Zhujian had also turned around. Just now they turned their backs knowingly. This lake has actually been cleared. Qing Chen was quite surprised. Damn dog, your urine is so effective. Wu Dade also spoke. Lin Zhujian smiled and said, "That's of course. Children's dog urine is a treasure that can destroy evil. After all, Dehe has lived for endless years. He is a virgin dog who is hundreds of thousands of years old. Of course, this urine is extraordinary." Hearing this, Wu Dade was startled for a moment, but then he couldn't help laughing. "Haha, you're such a stupid bitch, you're like a virgin? You're a virgin? You're such a stupid bitch, you've never even talked about a Taoist companion in your whole life, right?" Hearing this, the big black dog suddenly became anxious and said, "Nonsense. This emperor was no longer a virgin 8 million years ago. I am a scumbag and a sea king. Do you think that this emperor, like you, has lived 2 lifetimes and doesn't even know what love is? Rubbish." Hearing this, Wu Dade couldn't help but be stunned. He suddenly realized that he seemed to be single. He couldn't help but fell silent. Okay, now that the evil spirit of the lake has dissipated, we have to enter it quickly. Lin Zhujian has already spoken. The other side. Ao Xuanhuan climbed into a boat. Looking at the black lake in front of him, he felt uneasy and a little scared. Evil star? When he was in the underworld and the earth, he had been stigmatized as the god of plague, but he still did not believe that he would be related to any bad luck. At most, he was tricked by that small mountain village. Now, can I really do it? He suddenly missed the small mountain village. Haha, you are here, don't you dare to follow. At this moment, Ximenxia, the evil star in front, turned around and spoke mockingly, saying, "A little ant dares to show off in front of us. Who do you think you are?" When Ao Xuanhuan heard this, he became furious. The loser does not lose the formation. Damn it, give it a try. He immediately paddled hard and headed forward. However, wherever he passed, those evil spirits did not gather towards him at all. Instead, layers of evil energy were actually spreading in all directions, as if they were avoiding him. Behind his boat, he also brought out a waters that were free from evil spirits. Seeing this, everyone was shocked. What's going on? The evil spirit has actually dissipated. Evil stars are naturally capable of attracting evil spirits, but this person is not evil, but allows evil spirits to avoid it. This shows that he is not an evil star at all. There was a lot of discussion. What's going on? On a boat, Xianchen even asked in a deep voice. Hu Juer stared at Ao Xuanhuan for a long time before saying, "Master Qi Xianchen, I know, this person is not seeing at all. I'm afraid he is a lucky star. And great luck." Hearing this, Wu Yuxi next to him also nodded and said, "If you want to break the evil spirit, there are two ways. One is to find a natural evil star to absorb the evil energy, the other is to find a person with great luck to repel the evil energy. We have tried to look for lucky stars before, but lucky stars are born to seek good luck and avoid bad luck, and we couldn't find it at all. I didn't expect that Blind Chen actually found one, it's surprising. The two of them have determined that Ao Xuanhuan is a lucky star. Because, the words of the evil star will focus the evil energy. Lucky star." Xuanquan's face was gloomy, and he didn't know what he was thinking at the moment. Xianqing Ai and others were overjoyed at this moment. Their ship followed Ao Xuanhuan. Misunderstanding, misunderstanding. Zhongling Ai was very excited at this moment and said. Before, Ao Xuanhuan said that he was a lucky star. I still didn't believe it. But now it seems that it is actually true. Ao Fuxing, come on. And Ao Xuanhuan was also happy at this moment, he was indeed blessed. As they rode forward, waves of evil energy came from another direction. It was as if those evil spirits were driven away by something. I waited so hard that all the evil spirits from far away were attracted to me. Ximenxia was very excited. Haha, all this is because of me. Shui Jing is very confident. Zhao Dufu even opened his mouth and breathed heavily towards those evil spirits. However, just after taking a few big breaths, Zhao Dufu suddenly started to vomit. No. No, this evil smell, why is it so smelly? I feel like I can't swallow it. Who told you to use your mouth to breathe in evil spirits? Shui Jing smiled and said. If you use other places, you won't be able to feel the taste. She was quite proud that Zhao Dufu was the strongest among their three evil stars, but now Zhao Dufu only had one mouth. But she has two. What a win. However, after suddenly inhaling the evil energy, the next moment, she suddenly tensed up. What, is there something mixed in this evil spirit? At this moment, she felt itchy like an infection, which was unbearable. The three evil stars seemed to be unable to hold on at this moment. Those evil spirits filled the air towards the ship behind them. Hurry, run away, we will be destroyed by evil. Yang Partridge spoke in shock. Go to Ao Xuanhuan, there is no evil in him. Wu Yuxi spoke hurriedly. Immediately, the three ships hurriedly turned around and followed Ao Wushuan's ship. Ao Wushuan, stop for a moment and wait for me. Xian Chen even shouted. After a long time. Finally reached. Wu Dade released his hand covering his mouth and took a long breath. They had crossed the lake and appeared in the center of the lake. In the center of the lake is a small island. On the small island, there is a huge mound, like a hill. This is a huge tomb. Right in front, there is a stone gate, simple and majestic, like the gate of a palace, as if it has been waiting for eternity. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 737. Seeing the stone gate in front of them, several people's eyes were extremely solemn. This is the tomb door. Wu Xiaoqan murmured and said. What kind of secrets are hidden in the large tomb that the tombkeeper family has guarded for generations? Go in and take a look, and you will know. Lin Zhuzhan spoke, and several people came forward. As they got closer, they discovered that there were two words carved on the stone door. Suppress evil. The two characters, with their beautiful shape and spirit, contain the meaning of flying to the nine heavens and the emotion of reaching the sky. Obviously, the person who wrote the words is most likely a woman, with amazing talent and beauty. The door to suppress evil? These two words surprised everyone. Is there something evil inside the stone gate? Lin Zhuzhan murmured, the person who wrote these two words back then was also proficient in formations and the heavenly master talisman technique. It can be seen that this door completely separates the tomb from the outside world. However, the writer has very good control over the speed. It seems that if the writer's formation is slightly changed, he can kill all evil. However, the person who wrote it stayed and locked it up. He has mastered the celestial master technique and has achieved great success. Moreover, he also knows a little about the formation method. Now, he can see the extraordinary meaning of these two words. She wrote it? There was a flash of fear in the big black dog's eyes. What kind of evil thing is she trying to lock up here? Obviously it can be killed, but it has to be kept until today. Maybe the things in it have clues to the overall situation she set up. The big black dog murmured. It couldn't help it anymore and said. Open the door and go in and take a look. Lin Zhuzhan shook his head and said. The formation is too exquisite, and the way of the talisman is even more difficult for me to look up to, and it cannot be broken. He looked at Qing Chen and said. Perhaps, the key to entering lies with senior brother Qing Chen. When Qing Chen heard this, he slowly stepped forward. Standing in front of the stone gate, he took out a Bodhi seed. They are the sworn species of the Tombkeeper clan. I am coming. He spoke slowly. As soon as he finished speaking, the word suppress evil on the stone door suddenly disappeared. This means, the mana left on this door has completely disappeared. This door became an ordinary stone door and no longer had any magical effects. Qing Chen stretched out his hand and slowly pushed open the stone door. The deep and dark tomb passage suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Let's go in. Qing Chen is not afraid. Others immediately followed. After entering the tomb passage, Wu Xiaoqan closed the stone door. Entering the tomb passage, it was so dark that the human eye could not adapt. However, after walking not far forward, we found a faint fluorescent light in the tomb passage. Those fluorescents come from the bones scattered around in the tomb passage. The bones are burning. There are scattered will-o'-the-wisps and white bones. This scene is very scary. On both sides of the tomb passage, there are occasionally one or two tomb chambers with closed doors. No one knows what is inside. Qing Chen and the others have no desire to explore and keep walking forward. We didn't go very far. Then, what is that? Suddenly, Wu Xiaoqan spoke tremblingly and pointed to the tomb passage ahead. On the right side of the tomb passage, a tomb chamber is actually open. In the dark tomb, two old and craggy hands stretched out. One hand held a white bone stick, and the other hand held a large ball of dead man's hair, as if they were doing needlework or mending something. In the deep tomb passage and the unknown tomb chamber, an unknown object actually stretched out his hand to do needlework in the tomb passage. Extremely weird. This is an evil spirit. Wu Xiaoqan trembled and said, "My benefactor, let's leave quickly and go back. Once you are contaminated by this evil spirit, you will never be able to get rid of it for the rest of your life." Wu Dade and others also looked at each other in confusion. However, Lin Zhujian thought for a while and said, "It's okay, it doesn't matter, come with me." He stepped forward step by step and walked to the tomb. "What are you sewing?" Lin Zhujian suddenly lowered his head, as if talking to something. And among the large ball of dead man's hair held in the white bone hand, the hair suddenly spread to both sides, and a pale face emerged from the hair. "Mending, myself." The evil spirit was actually talking back. "Can you lend me some of your hair? I don't have enough." The evil spirit murmured. Lin Zhujian smiled and said, "Okay." As he spoke, he didn't know when there was a pen in his hand, and then the pen tip swept across it. A phoenix true fire suddenly shot out. What he was holding was the Vulcan pen made for him by Li Fan using chicken feathers. Immediately, the hair of the evil spirit started to burn, and the flames were extremely strong. "Ah!" The evil spirit let out a scream, hurriedly lifted the head with two hands, and retreated into the dark tomb, and the stone door suddenly closed. The tomb passage was silent. Junior brother Lin, you are really fierce." Wu Dade couldn't help but speak at this moment. "Lin Zhujian, he is a ruthless person. Even ghosts bully you." "I'm just trying." Lin Zhujian opened his mouth and said, "This evil spirit is actually very powerful, so I took a gamble. I guess these stone chambers are used to seal evil spirits. Evil spirits cannot escape from them. They can only extend part of them into the tomb passage in some way. It's okay. Next time you see me, just come up. It doesn't matter." Lin Zhujian spoke calmly. Hearing this, everyone couldn't help but nod and immediately relaxed. It turns out, it's just scary. They move on. In front of a tomb, a pale hand, holding a white bone Tianling cap, stretched out from the tomb, as if begging. "You beggar, go away. Don't block the fat man's way here." Wu Dade stepped forward directly, spoke to the evil spirit, and stood in front of the tomb with a fearless look on his face. However, that hand suddenly let go of the white bone heavenly spirit cover and grabbed Wu Dade's ankle. Suddenly, Wu Dade was so frightened that his hair exploded. "Holy shit, help me." He was almost caught by the hand. Fortunately, at this time, his butt hurt, and the big black dog had bitten his flesh and caught him. In the dark tomb, two green eyes flickered. Lin Zhujian also hurriedly picked up his pen and said, "This evil spirit is so strong, part of its power broke away from the shackles of the stone chamber." He was also anxious and wanted to take action. Qing Chen also stepped forward and shouted, "What kind of evildoer dares to do whatever he wants?" He stepped forward. In the tomb, those green eyes seemed to stay on Qing Chen for a second. Then, as if seeing a ghost, the evil spirit retracted its hand and closed the stone door. As if, very scared. Several people were stunned. What's going on? The ghosts here are afraid of Qing Chen? Damn dog, still won't let go. Wu Dade covered his buttocks, whined, rubbed his buttocks, and then said, "Junior brother Zhujian, you are not good at this, these ghosts are more powerful than you say." Lin Zhujian also said with guilt, Brother Dade, I was careless. Don't blame him. At this time, the big black dog murmured. These imprisoned evil spirits, are all transformed by the most powerful men of all time. It is definitely beyond comparison with ordinary evil spirits. They are looking for a host. If they find a host and escape, it will cause a huge disaster. Wu Dade said. But I feel, why are these ghosts a little afraid of senior brother Qing Chen? The big black dog also glanced at Qing Chen, with complicated eyes, and said. Actually, this emperor, is a little scared now. I can't even imagine what's in the tomb. Next, when they encountered evil spirits and demons, they became much bolder. In the open tomb in front, a pale baby covered in scales lay beside the door, whimpering. Tisk, tisk, curl up into a ball. I don't know, I thought you were a ball. Wu Dade kicked the ghost baby away with one kick. The ghost baby immediately bared his teeth and tried to rush out of the tomb. Senior brother Qing Chen. Wu Dade immediately shrank behind Qing Chen. The baby's eyes swept across Qing Chen, and he immediately backed away in fear and closed the door. Not long after, another headless female ghost poked out her upper body from the tomb. If you ignore the horror of her headless appearance, her body can be said to be perfect, with her peak half covered by the shroud. As soon as they got close, a black energy spread faintly. Be careful, this female ghost is trying to confuse us. Lin Zhujian spoke. Wu Dade seemed to have been tricked. He walked up to the female ghost blankly and said. What a beauty. As he spoke, he subconsciously stretched out his hand. In the black tomb, a pale hand stretched out, as if to grab Wu Dade. However, at this moment, Wu Dade suddenly kicked the female ghost's twin peaks hard. Do you really think you can charm the fat man? Wu Dade didn't bother to speak. The female ghost immediately wanted to pounce. Qing Chen also stepped forward and said hurriedly. Dono res, calm down, calm down. Bang. The door immediately closed. Finally, after a long journey, they finally reached the end of the tomb passage. At the end of the tomb passage, it seems that we are about to enter the main tomb chamber. You finally came. I've been waiting for you for a long time. A voice suddenly sounded. For a moment, Wu Dade and others were shocked because of this sound. Exactly the same as Qing Chen. Good night. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 738. Finally ashore. Landing on the small island in the middle of the lake, Zhang Lingai's face was filled with excitement. He actually came. Xuanhuan was really good, even better than the 3 evil stars. He couldn't help but look towards the 3 evil stars. Vomit. Zhao Dufa retched and burst into tears. No. I can't vomit. I can't waste the evil energy I finally absorbed. Ximen Xie's face turned dark, and he suppressed his throat forcefully. He was refining like crazy, working hard. Shui Jing was scratching hard now. She felt extremely itchy and uncomfortable. She regretted it. 2 mouths would be worse than 1. It was too painful. Is this the evil star you found? Xian Chen looked at the scene with anger on his face. I almost confessed here. 3 so-called evil stars are not as good as 1 lucky star in Xuanhuan. Sir, we didn't know that the evil spirit here was so serious. Yes, Master, we really underestimated. Yang Partridge and others were all explaining. Xian Chen looked gloomy and said. Can you handle it next? He raised his eyes, glanced at Xian King I and others, and said. There won't be any more trouble here, right? He was quite worried that Xian King I had a lucky star named Xuanhuan under his command, and he was afraid that Xian King I would take the credit. Sir, don't worry, the next step is to rob the tomb, and we are the most professional. Yang Partridge hurriedly spoke and said. and the Guangdu sect is not good at tomb robbing at all. Hearing this, Xianchen nodded and said, "Then let's get started." Immediately, the three major tomb robber families began to survey the surroundings. Here, this big tomb is not simple. Hu Ju'er looked at the surrounding environment and said solemnly, "This large tomb stands on the central island, and the entire lake forms a trap, as if it is trying to trap the tomb." Wu Yuxi also nodded and said, "Good. I'm afraid there is something unclean in this big tomb." They are experts in tomb robbing and are quite proficient in feng shui, so they can see some clues at this moment. Wu Qi pointed to the stone gate in front and said, "Master Qi, this is the door to the tomb." Everyone looked and moved closer. "Sir, this tomb door is not simple." Hu Ju'er spoke solemnly. "Generally speaking, large tombs are buried in the soil, but this tomb door is actually exposed. Based on my many years of fighting experience, this tomb door must have mechanisms and formations." Wu Yuxi is very determined. Yang Partridge also said, "We have to break the formation first." They are all veterans, and they know that abnormality will lead to monsters. The tomb door is so easy to find, so it is obviously a trap. Generally speaking, there will be traps, magic circles, etc. But, this can't stop them. Xiancheng said, "Then break the formation." Hu Ju'er stepped forward and took out a simple compass. Suddenly he turned back and looked at Zhang Ling'ai and said, "Haha, Zhang Ling'ai, how about you come first? I'm very curious whether Blind Chen has learned our Hu family's compass-breaking formation technique." There was a sneer in his eyes. Just now on the lake, Guangdu sect was in the lead, which made their faces dull. Now that they have arrived at their home court, they naturally have to regain their face and embarrass the Light Tuzong. Zhang Ling'ai's face looked a little ugly. He really didn't know about these magic formations. How can they talk about tomb robbing with their half-heartedness? It's just shitty luck and finding a lucky star. Wu Yuxi opened his mouth and said, "However, the so-called lucky stars are of no use. Here, it depends on real ability." Yang Partridge also said coldly, "Let me see what the real gap is." Immediately, the three of them took out the corresponding array-breaking items and began to take action. The compass breaks the formation and is infallible. Hu Ju'er muttered, and some kind of secret power suddenly emitted from the compass. This secret power can often destroy the connection between formations. Innately strong steps are like walking on thin ice. Wu Yuxi took a strange step, which was their lineage's method of breaking formations. During his steps, he could resonate with the formation in the tomb and find flaws. The calculations are endless, check for the flaws and find out. Yang Partridge was even more peculiar. He took out a silver abacus and was tapping it quickly. All three of them tried their best. Soon, the three of them were sweating profusely. "My compass is useless." Hu Ju'er's face was stunned. "I can't even find the flaw in this magic circle with my innate strength. In fact, I didn't even notice the position of the magic circle." Wu Yuxi felt like his legs were cramping, but it was no use. "No, if I continue to calculate, my abacus will burst into flames." Yang Partridge's abacus was so hot that he could no longer hold it. Three people trying their best, to no avail. This magic circle is too terrifying. It's incredible. "Sir, in my opinion, we may have to slow down." Their faces were a little ugly. Xuanhuan's eyes were filled with anger, and he wanted to scold his mother. Are these people trash? What can't be done? What are these people doing? Is it necessary? As for Ao Wushuan, he was very confused at this moment. What's wrong with these people? They have been making trouble with this door for so long. Hearing this, Hu Ju'er and others immediately became angry. "Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to us? What do you know about tomb robbing? I can't bear to be ridiculed by an ignorant Ao Wushuan." Yang Partridge's eyes were even colder and he said, "Haha, if you have the ability, do you want to try it? If you die, you will know whether it is necessary or not." Xuanhuan was also angry. "Damn, isn't it just a door?" He stepped forward, stretched out his hand and pushed. Then, the door opened. Suddenly, Xuanhuan was startled. "What's going on? Is this pushing it away? Why do I feel something is wrong?" Yang Partridge, Hujuer and Wu Yuxi were even more shocked. "Damn, how did this guy do it? What happened?" They all tried their best, but to no avail. "Xuanhuan, this guy can push away? Isn't this too embarrassing? Is this the terrifying formation that you call unbreakable?" Xiancheng couldn't help but speak. Sir, this guy took advantage of us." Hujuer hurriedly spoke and said. "The three of us just worked together and broke the formation. He didn't push it away at all. In fact, it was us who broke it open." Hearing this, Yang Partridge and Wu Yuxi also hurriedly agreed. "Yes, I said why the compass didn't respond just now, it was because it took effect a little late. The power of my abacus is indeed powerful." There was some doubt in Xuanhuan's eyes. Now, he couldn't believe these three people. They felt like magic sticks, very good at boasting. Not very reliable. However, the door to the tomb has been opened, it's time to go in. "Come in." He spoke. Everyone entered immediately. This formation has nothing to do with Yang Partridge and the other three. Xian King I whispered. "Why do I feel there shouldn't be any magic circle on this door? Could it be that the three of them were simply casting spells into the air? According to experience, the door of the tomb is not hidden. If it is placed in front of you openly, it usually has a mechanism." Zhongling opened his mouth and said. "Moreover, there is obviously something evil happening in this tomb. If there is no magic circle on the door, how can it be suppressed? Obviously, there should be a magic circle on this door." Xian King I was thinking and suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that this magic circle was destroyed by someone else in advance? If this is the case, doesn't that mean that someone else has already entered the tomb? Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 739. Enter the tomb. In the dark and deep passage of the tomb, there are ghostly fires and evil spirits. Everyone was a little hairy. There must be evil spirits in this tomb passage, let Zhao Dufu and the others be in front. Yang Partridge spoke. Immediately, Zhao Dufu, Shui Jing, and Ximen Xie all stepped forward. Not far ahead, they suddenly saw a strange scene in the tomb passage. The door of a tomb opened, and two withered hands stretched out from the dark tomb, one holding a bone rod, and the other holding a dead head. There was not a single hair on the dead head, as if it had been burned away by something. What is this? Everyone was frightened. Evil spirit. Hujuer looked solemn and said. A large tomb that can give birth to evil spirits, is not simple, it is really not simple. Wu Yuxi said. If you want to defeat evil spirits, you can only rely on 3 evil stars. Let me go. Zhao Dufu's head opened his mouth, his eyes were burning, and he said. We are born as evil stars and are naturally close to evil spirits. I can communicate with evil spirits. This is a great opportunity. Immediately, Zhao Dufu's head rolled in front of the evil spirit like a football. Meet the evil spirit. I am a born evil star, an evil spirit. Is there any chance here? Zhao Dufu looked at the evil spirit and asked. However, the evil spirit's hand suddenly grabbed Zhao Dufu's head and tore off all of Zhao Dufu's hair, including his scalp. Ah! Zhao Dufu let out a shrill scream. The evil spirit covered Zhao Dufu's scalp on the dead man's head. Thank you, for your hair. The dead head opened its eyes, smiled strangely, then opened its mouth and swallowed Zhao Dufu's head, making a crunching sound. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Zhao Dufu was eaten. This evil spirit doesn't buy his fault at all. It's over, we won't be eaten too. Everyone was frightened. The situation is not right, do something. Hu Juer gritted his teeth and hurriedly took out his compass to deal with this evil spirit. However, as soon as the compass was taken out, it exploded. My calculation. Yang Partridge was also trembling. The abacus in his hand ignited a will-o'-the-wisp, and he hurriedly threw it aside. My leg, what's wrong with my leg? Wu Yuxi wanted to use Xian Tiangang's step, but he found bloodlines on his legs. It was very scary, as if he took one step, his legs would explode. The dead man's head had already turned his head and glanced at everyone. Suddenly, everyone had the illusion that they were being targeted by some eternal ancient ghost. All it takes is a thought from the other party, and he and others will die. It's over, I don't want to die. Help! Everyone panicked. He is looking at our souls. Is he picking on people? Hu Juer even said in shock. If possessed, he can escape. Everyone is even more frightened. Are they possessed by evil spirits? That's terrible. Xian King Ai's pretty face turned pale and she murmured. Such evil spirits are invincible. Xian Chen was almost crying, his voice was trembling, and he said. Spare my life. Among the crowd, Xuanhuan was also extremely hairy at this moment. Damn, this place is really evil. No way, I'm not going to die here. He gritted his teeth and fought hard. He had faced even the most evil mountain villages. What was he afraid of? He immediately stepped forward and said. Brother, can we discuss it? His legs couldn't help but tremble. The dead head looked at Xuanhuan and was suddenly shocked. It stared at Xuanhuan and looked up and down. How could such a great plague appear in the world? No wonder why I brought those people here today. It turns out that there was a big plague, what a ghost. The evil spirit murmured, seeming to be very afraid of Xuanhuan, and said. Where did you come from? The dead head actually replied. This surprised everyone. Xuanhuan was shocked when he heard it. Is it really effective? This dead head can communicate. Xuanhuan thought for a moment, facing such evil things, he definitely couldn't do it on his own. Why not use the tiger skin as a banner? He immediately said. From a small mountain village. Small village? The head was confused. Suddenly, it noticed Xuanhuan's legs. Your legs have the same origin as those people. This evil spirit is even more frightened. What do you want? What do you want to discuss? Its voice seemed to be trembling a little at this moment. When Xuanhuan heard it, the name of a small mountain village was really good. Damn, it really is an evil village. Even these terrifying evil spirits are afraid of it. He bit the bullet and said. Can you go back and stay? It's scary to come out and scare people. Hearing this, the dead head actually seemed to be pardoned and said. Thank you, then I'm leaving now. The dead man turned around and was about to leave, but suddenly stopped again. No, if you don't cut off the cause and effect after seeing such a serious plague, I'm afraid you'll be doomed. The dead man turned his head again and said. You just let me go like this? I'm not worried, what do you want? I'll give it to you. It seems like I need to give something out so that I can leave with peace of mind. Xuanhuan was extremely frightened and felt very frightened, saying. Whatever you want. The dead head thought for a while, then hit his forehead with a bone stick, and a piece of broken bone immediately fell to the ground. Then, the dead head disappeared directly, and the door of the tomb closed with a clang. The tomb passage was as quiet as death. Everyone looked at the scene dumbfounded. What's going on? Ao Wushuan actually did what Zhao Tufa couldn't do. Evil spirits can really communicate, but you have to master the correct method. What is the origin of Ao Wushuan? Everyone was shocked. Ao Wushuan let out a long sigh of relief at this moment. Damn, I was scared to death. Who wouldn't be afraid of dealing with ghosts? At this moment, he wanted to run away. Something doesn't feel right. Ao Wushuan, brother Xuang, you are so fierce. But at this moment, Zhang Lingai reacted, took hold of Ao Wushuan's hand, which was called affectionate, and said, "From today on, you are my brother. I'm determined to follow you." Ao Wushuan said, "Really? Then let's leave quickly. It's not a good place to stay for a long time." He is panicked. Zhang Lingai. No one is allowed to leave. Xiancheng gritted his teeth and said, "Keep moving forward. Whoever dares to retreat will be killed by me. He must not let go of this opportunity." Ao Wushuan, what is the small mountain village you mentioned? At this moment, Yang Partridge spoke keenly. In their view, Ao Wushuan himself, although a lucky star, was ordinary. How could one be qualified to talk to evil spirits? And in the conversation between Ao Wushuan and the evil spirit just now, the most crucial thing was, the small mountain village. Could it be said that the small mountain village is some kind of extraordinary force? Ao Wushuan said. The small mountain village, that is the place I, Ao Wushuan, least want to see in my life. The evil sect has reached the extreme. Xianking I was confused and said, "Didn't you say that you are from a small mountain village?" Ao Wushuan said, "I lied to ghosts, but I didn't expect it to actually work." Hearing this, everyone was speechless for a while. Ao Wushuan didn't look like he was lying. He seemed to have nothing to do with the so-called small mountain village. It turns out that you are just a fox pretending to be a tiger." At this time, Ximen Xie spoke up and said, "I thought there was something really special about you, borrowing someone else's name, haha." He suddenly regained his confidence. "Don't worry, master, we will definitely be able to pass the level next. Big deal, heck, just say small mountain village." Xiancheng also nodded and said, "Let's go. Everyone can only continue to move forward. This is the bone of an evil spirit, it can be called a treasure." Before passing by the tomb of the evil spirit just now, Ximen Xie looked at the forehead bones left by the evil spirit on the ground, his eyes shining. He grabbed it right away. "Ximen Xie, what do you mean?" Zhang Ling shouted angrily and said, "This treasure belongs to Ao Wushuan." Ximen Xie sneered. "Ao Wushuan? Is his name written on it? Whoever gets it first, it belongs to whoever gets it first." Zhang Ling was furious and prepared to take action. But Ao Wushuan hurriedly stopped him and said, "Forget it, it's not necessary." He didn't want to touch the dead man's things yet. "You know the truth." Ximen Xie spoke coldly. Not far away, they encountered another evil spirit. A baby covered in black scales huddled up next to a tomb door, crying softly, as if he had been beaten. Everyone stopped. "Let me come, I'll discuss it with it." Ximen Xie volunteered, walked up to the evil spirit, and said, "I'm from a small mountain village. Hand over your evil spirit bones. The day is free for women." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 740. I'm from a small mountain village. Hand over your evil spirit bones. Ximenxia looked at the baby by the door and spoke arrogantly. The baby curled up in a ball, raised its pale little face and said in a baby-like voice, "Small village." Ximenxia took a look, and sure enough, he could communicate just by saying that he was from a small mountain village. Really useful. Yes, I am from a small mountain village. Hand it over, or I'll kill you. He is simply arrogant. The baby whimpered, suddenly pulled out a scale from its body, handed it to Ximenxia, and said, "Do you want it?" Ximenxia was even more overjoyed and reached out to get it. However, the baby's pale little hand grabbed his hand directly. Ah! Ximenxia suddenly let out a scream, and was pulled forward by the baby and fell to the ground. Then the baby tore open his chest and crawled inside. Ximenxia's stomach was rising and falling, as if something was eating in his stomach. During the whole process, Ximenxia was like a docile sheep without any resistance. Seeing this horrific scene, everyone behind was shocked. What's going on? How could it be useless? The name of a small mountain village cannot suppress this evil spirit. It's impossible. Xuanhuan could do it just now, why can't Ximenxia? It's over, this evil spirit won't give you any face. Everyone was panicking. And at this moment, Ximenxia suddenly stood up straight. His eyes are so cold. No, he is possessed by an evil spirit. Hu Juer's expression changed drastically. It's over, this evil spirit has broken free. Who can control him? Everyone was very frightened. Flesh, delicious. Ximenxia walked towards the crowd step by step. At this moment, everyone felt a great pressure, as if they couldn't even take a step forward. I don't want to die. He'll eat us. No. Everyone can only cry. Brother Ao, help, can you go and discuss it with him? Zhongling Ai was also panicking at this moment and spoke towards Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan is also nervous. Even a small mountain village can't suppress this evil thing? How can I do it myself? However, you can't just sit back and wait for death. He gritted his teeth, stepped forward and said, "Kid, don't mess around." As soon as he stood out, Ximenxia was immediately shocked. How did such a great plague appear and how did you escape? Ximenxia murmured in horror, looked at Xuanhuan and said, How did you escape? Xuanhuan said, "Of course I ran with my legs." Ximenxia immediately looked at Xuanhuan's legs, and he was even more shocked. Forget about the Great Plague, there is still such a hard background, damn, are you going to let the evil take hold? Ximenxia's body suddenly fell straight down. Then, the little baby crawled out of his belly, already covered in blood. The evil spirit broke away from Ximenxia's body. It quickly pulled off a piece of black scales, threw it on the ground, and then climbed back into the tomb. The door of the tomb was also closed directly. What is going on? Ximenxia is useless, does Xuanhuan come? What is the origin of this guy? Everyone is looking at Xuanhuan. They all understood that this guy was definitely not simple. Why do I feel this guy is so weird? Hu Juer was a little confused. Is he really a lucky star? How do I feel he is even more evil than these evil spirits? Wu Yuxi was also shocked and confused. Brother Wushuan, you are my brother. Zhongling Ai became even more excited and said, I will definitely follow you this time. I will go wherever you go. Even Qian King Ai stood silently closer to Xuanhuan at this moment. They all understood that in this ancient tomb, it was totally unreliable to try to find gold and defeat the sect or evil stars. Xuanhuan is the eternal god. Xuanhuan, right? Come here and get closer to me. Even Qian Chang, unable to hold himself tight at this moment, spoke to Xuanhuan. But Xuanhuan shook his head and said, No. Old Ao, I don't want to go in anymore. Please withdraw, everyone, I feel like something is wrong with this place. Xiancheng was immediately angry. He was condescending, but Ao Wushuan didn't give him face. You want to leave without my permission? Do you want to die? He shouted angrily. Xianqing I said coldly. I agree with Ao Wushuan. The evil gate of this tomb has exceeded the capabilities of our Xianyi sect. If any one of these evil spirits comes out, I'm afraid it will cause havoc. We should retreat. Xiancheng said ferociously. Xianqing I don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. Don't you just want to see me fail? No way, no one can stop me this time. In his hand, he suddenly took out a black iron seal. I will kill anyone who dares to disobey me. He spoke coldly. Xianqing I was suddenly startled and said. Black Iron Chaos Seal, the sect master actually gave you the sect's most precious treasure. The Black Iron Chaos Seal is a quasi-fourth realm magic weapon. Unless a master from the four realms comes, Xiancheng will be invincible if he holds this object. Keep going. Or die. He's threatening. Xianqing I didn't say anything, but looked at Ao Wushuan. Ao Wushuan was helpless at this moment. This Xiancheng was too much. Force yourself to move forward. Okay, I'll send you in. Do my best. They continued to move forward. Zhongling I saw the opportunity quickly and picked up the forehead bones and black scales on the ground, handed them to Ao Wushuan, and said. This is the essence of evil spirits. It can be called a treasure. It can be used for cultivation, weapon refining, etc. It is priceless. You deserve these things, put them away. He is very generous and has no thoughts of hiding anything. On the one hand, he feels that Ao Wushuan is definitely not simple and is worthy of friendship. On the other hand, the bones of evil spirits contain great evil luck, and their sect cannot bear it. Ao Wushuan was delighted when he heard this. It turns out that this dead thing is still a treasure. A near miss. He immediately put away the black scales and forehead bones. However, as soon as he took it into his arms, Ao Wushuan was startled. Something's not right. He clearly felt that the black scales and forehead bones had disappeared. Where did it go? At this moment, he felt that there was something awakening in his dantian. Ao Wushuan hurriedly looked inside and found that at some point, a rusty black ancient pagoda had appeared in his dantian. The ancient pagoda has 9 floors in total. At this moment, the black scales and forehead bones fell on the edge of the first level ancient tower, and were directly absorbed by the rusty ancient tower. After the black tower absorbed the black scale forehead bone, part of the rust actually disappeared, and a small area as big as a fingernail became like black divine gold, extremely deep and textured. At this moment, Ao Wushuan's breath slowly changed. His divine way has reached perfection. Moreover, without stopping, he broke directly into the realm of chaos. Ao Wushuan was immediately shocked. What's going on? This black tower, what the hell is it? When did it appear in your body? He was confused. Moreover, it can actually absorb the bones of evil spirits, it's a bit weird. No matter, anyway, it's a good thing if it can improve my cultivation. Ao Wushuan didn't think so much, but thought, it's a good thing. At the same time, there was an expectation in his heart. This black tower can improve one's cultivation by absorbing evil bones, this is simply ridiculous. I, Lao Ao, have been suffering for so many years. Is it finally over? At this moment, he suddenly hoped that there would be some more yin spirits ahead. Why did you suddenly enter the realm of chaos? Just as Ao Wushuan was immersed in the joy of breaking through the realm, the people around him were also aware of it. Zhongling I spoke in confusion and said. Do you have a realm of law? Ao Wushuan was caught off guard by this situation. Moreover, Didn't Ao Wushuan come from a place called Yangjian before? Over there, it is said that the peak can only reach Shinto, and there is no chaos method. Ao Wushuan was a little confused. Yijing Dharma? What is the first realm Dharma? Hearing this, everyone was even more surprised. This guy doesn't know the first realm Dharma? You dare to step into the realm of chaos if you don't know the first level method, you are seeking death. He is not lost, however, the first level is just the entry of chaotic spiritual energy into the body, and the probability of going crazy is relatively low. This guy is lucky. It's useless. He's not crazy now. If he continues to practice, he will be eroded by the source of the grey mist sooner or later. Everyone spoke. Is my situation dangerous? Ao Wushuan suddenly felt worried after listening to everyone's words. It's okay, when we get back, the sect master and I will ask for instructions and give you a realm method to make up for it, it should be okay. Zhongling I could only speak helplessly. Ao Wushuan was relieved. Let's go. Xian Chen, on the other hand, held the black iron chaos seal in his hand and urged. They continued on their way, and not long after, they encountered another evil spirit. It was a headless female corpse. It was very miserable. Not only did it have no head, but its two peaks looked like they had been kicked to pieces. Ao Wushuan stepped forward anxiously and said, "Let's discuss." The headless female corpse suddenly became hairy, and a female voice said angrily, "It's okay if the damn fat guy kicked me to pieces, but here comes another fatal one, is it over or not?" The corpse ran directly into the tomb and the door was closed. Ao Wushuan was startled for a moment, and suddenly realized something. He stepped forward, knocked on the door, and said, Did you forget to give me something? Mainly, the evil spirit bones can level him up. Upon hearing this, the door of the tomb opened immediately, and a rib was thrown out of the tomb. "Thanks for the reminder, see you again." This time the door was completely closed. Ao Wushuan patted his chest, it was too dangerous, too dangerous. He was still a little scared when he picked up the rib. "I am so brave." No. What did she just say? Suddenly, Ao Wushuan realized, the female ghost said. Did the fat man kick her to pieces? Fat man? Her breasts were kicked to pieces by a fat man? At this moment, his heart suddenly tightened and he subconsciously looked into the depths of the tomb. Such a wicked fat man is probably that one. No, 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 can we meet him here? He is nervous. Fantasy, I'm really not an unparalleled expert. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 741. You finally came. I've been waiting for you for a long time. At the end of the tomb passage, in the tomb, the sound has been ringing for a long time. Qing Chen and others stood outside the tomb, all in shock and confusion at this moment. The voice in the tomb was exactly the same as Qing Chen. What a ghost, is there another senior brother Qing Chen in the tomb? Wu Dade murmured. Could it be, that there's a big evil spirit hiding here? Lin Zhujian was also shocked and confused. Monk, it seems that you didn't die cleanly back then. Qing Chen felt that Dehai's words were so strange. However, he was not afraid. Step inside. Lin Zhujian, Wu Dade, and others also followed immediately. They stepped into the tomb, and instantly, endless golden Brahma light shone out from around them. Everyone has the illusion that they have entered a supreme holy land of Brahma, but it is not a gloomy tomb at all. The Brahma light all around makes people yearn for it. In front, there is a huge Bodhi tree. Each leaf of the Bodhi tree seems to have a Buddha hidden in it, exuding endless Taoist charm. The sounds of chanting sutras and Zen singing come and go. Under the Bodhi tree, an otherworldly monk sat cross-legged, like a fairy from another world. His face is exactly the same as Qing Chen. Senior brother Qing Chen. Exactly the same as senior brother Qing Chen. Could it be senior brother King Chen's previous life? Lin Zhujian and Wu Dade were both surprised. This is an unclean thing. The big black dog spoke in a low voice, his eyes full of fear. The monk under the Bodhi tree is otherworldly and graceful, as if he is standing outside the mortal world and will not fall into reincarnation. At this moment, he smiled slightly, looked at the big black dog, and said, "Xuanhuan, I haven't seen you for eternity. I hope you are fine again." The big black dog said, "I came here fine, but you turned into an evil spirit. Why don't you die a good death? What do you think? Wouldn't it be better to die?" Lin Zhujian and Wu Dade were speechless when they heard this. How could this damn dog speak so viciously? But the monk smiled and said, "You are wrong. I am not an evil spirit, I will enter the Tao. After entering the Tao, the common people will be saved and the ancestral realm will survive." As he spoke, he gently waved his hand and said, "The great Brahma holy realm is waiting for me." Daehego, Lin Zhujian, Wu Dade, and Wu Xiaoqan all felt at this moment that they seemed to be immobilized by some kind of force and unable to move. The monk stretched out his hand toward Qing Chen and said, "I've been waiting for you for a long time, please." In front of him, a table and a futon appeared. "Senior brother Qing Chen, be careful, something is wrong with this guy." Wu Dade opened his mouth to remind. Such an evil spirit is unfathomable. Lin Zhujian also looked solemn. He secretly held the Vulcan pen, but did not dare to do it easily. The realm of this evil spirit is unimaginable. Even though he holds a magical weapon, his own realm is too low. If he scares the snake, he may cause trouble. Qing Chen glanced at the monk, but he was thoughtful and walked away calmly without fear. He walked forward and sat on the futon, facing the monk. "I have understood the supreme Dharma and proved it, which can save the world. Are you willing to hear it?" The monk smiled otherworldly. Qing Chen said calmly, "Well, you make it up and I'll listen." The monk was startled for a moment, as if he was confused, but he continued. "If you want to cross the common people, you must first cross the gray fog. Do you know the essence of gray mist?" Qing Chen said. "Smog." "Monk." He continued. "Everything evolves, the white fog changes, and the gray fog will eventually arrive. Facing the gray fog, the people of the ancestral world cannot compete. Only nirvana. The realm of nirvana is neither birth nor death, nor living nor destroyed. Even the source of the gray mist cannot corrode it. This is the real magic." Qing Chen seemed to be deep in thought when he heard the words. Seeing this, the monk followed the instructions and used his hands to evolve the supreme magic, showing the state of nirvana, saying, "For example, in my nirvana state, I can see the four natures, abandon the six desires, and eliminate the seven emotions. See my wonderful Dharma, become one with me, and save all sentient beings. Are you willing?" His holy realm of nirvana has enveloped Qing Chen. As long as Qing Chen thinks about it, he will immediately fall into it. Wow, this damn monk, what kind of madness did he get in his previous life? He actually brought out the realm of nirvana. On the other side, the big black dog looked at the scene and was a little stunned, and murmured, "I have reached nirvana, and yet I am still dead." But then it became alert and said, "No. Once King Chen's mind is dominated by him, he will replace Qing Chen, and Qing Chen will become his slave in nirvana." The big black dog suddenly became anxious. The place was as quiet as death. Qing Chen and the monk sat opposite each other, and the years passed by like eternity. Lin Zhujian and others were extremely nervous. At this moment, outside the main tomb chamber, finally reached. Is this the land of opportunity? The treasure must be here. Xiancheng and others finally arrived. They have seen the golden light emanating from the tomb and felt the supreme Brahma. This kind of Taoist rhyme far surpasses the four realms, it's incredible. Xian King I was shocked. There is indeed a treasure in the big tomb, let's go. Xian Cheng was even more overjoyed. But Ao Wushuan suddenly felt a little hairy. He felt something was wrong, and his steps subconsciously slowed down, falling behind everyone. Xian King I was also overjoyed. Suddenly, she noticed something strange about Ao Wushuan. She couldn't help but slow down her pace. When she slowed down, Zhongling I also subconsciously slowed down. Everyone arrived at the door of the main tomb. I saw the scene in the tomb. A sacred and flawless ancient Bodhi tree seems to carry thousands of avenues and circulate infinite principles. Under the ancient Bodhi tree, two identical monks sat opposite each other. On the other side of the tomb, there were three young men and a big black dog. This is a treasure land. How come there are other people here? Where do these people come from? Don't worry so much. This is the holy light. It's a great opportunity. Come in quickly. Everyone was scrambling to be the first to run in. But Ao Wushuan was dumbfounded at this moment. He looked at the big black dog and the fat man in the tomb. Immediately unbelievable. He was going crazy. Damn, can you encounter this? This is the ancestral world, far away from the earthly world. Moreover, I even ran into this indifferent grave, and I could bump into it. The evil door of Zhennima. Ao Wushuan almost vomited blood. Is it going to end? This evil little mountain village. He quietly turned around and ran away. Where are the people? Xian King I was startled for a moment. She had been paying attention to Ao Wushuan, but that guy just disappeared from her eyes. It's like the wind. She hurriedly turned back, and vaguely saw a figure retreating in the tomb passage behind. Ao Wushuan ran away? So fast? Xian King I looked at the bright tomb chamber and hesitated for a moment. An evil that even Ao Wushuan can't control. Forget it, run. She also retreated directly and retreated. Zhongling I also hurriedly followed. Xian Cheng and others did not notice the disappearance of Ao Wushuan and others at all. They were all dazzled by the opportunity in front of them and ran into the tomb. Feeling the holy light of Brahma, they were all excited. This kind of holy light makes people want to realize enlightenment. I seem to have seen the great avenue to heaven in the realm of chaos. They were all excited. However, under the Bodhi tree, the monk said lightly. Noisy. In an instant, Xian Cheng and everyone else fell silent. They couldn't say a word, and couldn't move. Something's not right. Why do I feel this doesn't seem to be a blessed place? Hujur suddenly panicked. These people here, aren't they evil spirits? Wu Yuxi was even more frightened and thought of some possibility. Yes, and it's unimaginable. Shui Jing started to tremble all over. When she looked at the monk under the Bodhi tree, her delicate body trembled. She was so frightened that she lost control on the spot. At this moment, everyone is panicking. Wrong. There was fear in Xuanhuan's eyes. He wanted to use the most precious black iron chaos seal to resist, but when he looked down, the chaos seal had turned into a pile of scrap metal. What's going on? Senior Sister King II. He subconsciously wanted to find Xian King II, but when he looked, he found that Xian King II was not there. In addition, Zhongling II did not enter the tomb. And that, Ao Wushuan? Did they run away? Xian Cheng suddenly felt something was wrong. Ao Wushuan was not here, he was so panicked. Install.